What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Tim's Sports Talk. And today we are talking about the rumors, about the nonsense that is JJ McCarthy being drafted at number 2 overall to the Washington Commanders. Will Adam Peters actually throw this curveball, or is this bullcrap? Okay? Before we get started, let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. Is JJ McCarthy really a guy that you're looking at number 2? How do you feel about JJ McCarthy before we get started? But please let me know in the comments, okay? Let me know what you think. So I went and watched some more JJ McCarthy because I watched him in both the college football playoff games. We watched those live, and I remember coming away not incredibly impressed, right? And I went back and watched the Alabama game, and it's a lot of underneath stuff, but just a lot of screen passes, a lot of drag routes, not a lot of him doing the work, if you will, right? College football championship, he didn't have to do much there either. But I watched some of the other stuff, and I don't like that I liked it more as much as I do, right? Especially his highlights and things like that. I went through just to get a feel on how those looked. The guy actually has pretty solid mobility. So just looking through some positives. The escape ability's there. He's really good at throwing on the run. When the pocket breaks down, he keeps his eyes downfield. He found a lot of dudes open on the second effort and some wild throw angles. He protects the football clearly well. He had 22 touchdowns with only 4 interceptions. He only had 3 interceptions the year before that. Really protects the football well. His completion percentage was really, really good at 72%. So, and he sliced it into some tight windows, especially around the middle of the field, seam routes, little skinny posts through the middle, or even straight up like crosser routes, 10, 15 yards over, dig routes. And he also used his eyes and body to manipulate the defense quite well also, especially as a runner. A lot of head movement, a lot of shaking, like a little wiggle in him, and it really confused the defenders at times. Really good at play action as well. Like there was times that I thought he had handed it off, and it's not. He's very crafty when it comes to the play action game. So there was actually some things to like about JJ McCarthy. I'm not going to lie. Like he's a guy that has a chance at the next level. He's also 6'3", 220 pounds. His combine, he was extremely accurate. But some negatives, he clearly doesn't have that great of arm strength. Even one of the highlights was like, well, they said he couldn't throw deep. Yeah, the receiver had to stop for the football. He's throwing it about 55 yards when he goes deep. It's okay. It's enough per se, but it's not exciting by any stretch of the imagination, right? Like, especially when you have Milton throwing it like 65, 70 yards through the air. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, or nothing like that of super strong arms, clearly. He's a guy that's going to be able to make the throws that you need him to, but he's not going to impress you with his arm strength. And some other negatives, I mean, it's hard to say a negative is like who you have around you, but you do have to take that into consideration. It's much easier to be confident in the pocket and keep your eyes downfield when you have one of the best offensive lines in college football. He also had one of the best defenses in college football. The opposing team didn't score over 15 points until week 11 when they played Maryland, and they really won that game with a fumble recovery for a touchdown. That was the difference in the game. Didn't have a great second half, did McCarthy. He didn't really have a good game at all in that game in particular, like 52% completion percentage. He wasn't very exciting in the Maryland game in particular. Looking at the stats again, just it was 12 for 23, 141 yards, no touchdowns, a pick in that game, 2 carries, -7 yards. You can't really look at the carries though, because they include sacks in those numbers. So yeah, he was sacked 1 time, so one of his carries was actually a sack. Another negative on him is that he didn't have over 150 yards, or he had one game rather over 150 yards in the last 6 games of that championship run last year. The game against Alabama, he opened the game with an interception that was fortunately called back. I guess his toes were on the line. They didn't even show the replay. But yeah, most throws were screen passes in that game. He was very game manager-esque throughout the college football playoffs in both of those games. Immediate 14-point lead against Washington with big runs by his running backs. What was his name? Edwards had like a 54-yard run. Yeah, it was heavy run game. Like Blake Corum is considered one of the top running backs in this class, and he was obviously a dude they leaned on heavy. I think he was on the cusp of breaking the single season college football record in rushing touchdowns. So yeah, Corum, if he didn't get there in the championship game, I don't remember. It was close. He was on the cusp if he didn't quite get there. Yeah, so they really leaned heavy on that run game. So the play action was extremely effective. But at the same time, there was things to like about him. At number 2, you would be clinically insane. He is not a game changer. He's not a dude you drafted number 2. I would not draft him over Jaden Daniels. I would not, like, I'm not a Drake May fan whatsoever. Would I draft Drake May over JJ McCarthy? Maybe, only because the ceiling potential could be higher with the nice strong arm that he has over there and a much bigger frame and a little bit better mobility. But I don't even know if it's better mobility, because also if you look at the combine for JJ McCarthy, he was in the... Did I still have it up? I know I used the window, but he was in the 95 percentile in the 3-cone drill and the 86 percentile in the shuttle. That may have been backwards. I don't remember. But either way, point is that his lateral quickness and his change of pace and change of direction is actually pretty good, right? A guy that only had 224 yards rushing in the college football, you don't really think of him as a guy that's a real runner, but he definitely has highlights doing it. And, this was actually, this was how many games? He only had 146 yards rushing last year. And again, it's hard to take everything into consideration because college football is so stupid with their sack numbers that sacks are including in the rushing total. So if you see 4 carries, negative 31 yards, he didn't run backwards for negative 31 yards. No, he was sacked 3 times in that game, and he took a lot of yardage doing it. Only 19 sacks of the entire season. That's not bad. But he does hold on to it and try to make things happen. It's not like he's going to get rid of the ball quickly most of the time. He's trying to make things happen to keep the ball going in the correct direction, right? Keep the chains moving. Yeah, there's no way you take him at number 2. It's just no shot. If you're looking to take JJ McCarthy, you trade down. 100%. Jaden Daniels and Drake May should be drafted ahead of him, so you could trade down. I know that Dan Quinn was talking about maybe trading down to pick 6 or 7. You should be able to get a JJ McCarthy in that range. I still wouldn't do it myself, but at least if you are sold on JJ McCarthy, if you're Peters and Quinn, if that is truly your guy, trade down, please. Do not take him at number 2. Do not do it, right? At least get some extra value when you're trading back, and especially with how value the number 2 pick is. That number 2 is so valuable. Okay, there's going to be teams interested in coming up there and going to get it, to trade up above the New England Patriots. The Patriots could want to trade up one spot to prevent somebody to trade up that direction. Like, that number 2 is borderline as valuable as pick number 1, right? Especially in this quarterback class where there's quite a few quarterbacks that are being highly touted right now. You still have Michael Penix, you still have Bo Nix, you still have, there's a lot of quarterbacks in this draft that have potential. Please trade out of that number 2 pick if you are so inclined to take JJ McCarthy. I am not, unless we take way late, but I just don't see how this regime doesn't take a quarterback at pick number 2. There's just no way. Pick number 2 will be a quarterback. It's most likely in the area of, will it be Jaden or will it be Drake? And I just told you my opinion. I would much rather it be Jaden if I had to take a quarterback there. Yeah, it's It's not even close in that front. But anyway, JJ at number 2 is nuts, and I really hope these are just smoke and mirrors and whatnot. But you guys let me know what you think about JJ McCarthy in the comments below. Please do that. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit up the Discord, all that good stuff. I'm glad to be back, and thank you. And we're going to have more content coming. So I'll see you then. And until next time.